All right, Pro Dumpster Diver back at it again. So, what do we have today? What we're going over right now is one of the more interesting things that I just picked up. So, I've been doing a lot more videos right now. Got a week off from work. It was my birthday and everything like that. So, I'm going to do something very interesting right now. What we're going to do is go over something that I just previously bought. Okay, and I want to show you guys what's in it. This was zero point 0.8 pounds, so it's not a full pound. All right. However, what we're going to go over today is a very key thing. Not everything that you find you can actually get at the best way. What does that mean? I can't find stuff like this in a dumpster unless someone was a collector and they threw it out. So I did want to go over the stack of $2 bills that I had, but I'd rather go over the gold scrap because I do like this. This is one of the coolest things yet. All right. Sorry for the snipples. So I want to set this up. Got a nice little tripod here because you guys are talking about, dude, get better camera angles. I'm like, all right, I got it here. Okay. All right. So I think this is a good angle right here, right now for you guys. I think this is good. Okay. All right. So what are we doing? We're going to go over a couple of things in here that was in this goodie bag. So I was on eBay and I bought two of these things, right? It's 0.8 pounds. All right. So it's not a full pound, but it's a very good buy. Now, I'm going to go into why in a minute, but we're going to go over six of the things that are actually in here. One of them, if you can clearly look at it, and there's an actual QR code with some of these products, it's very interesting. If you could actually see it right there, there's a QR code. However, on the back of this, we actually are going to have a bit of gold scrap. Now, here inside of this metal part is pretty thick. There's a very thick piece of aluminum. So these would actually go for cell phones or the back of the screens for laptops, desktops, or even tablets. Tablets are another thing that I should have mentioned before. Tablets have screens and they also have ribbon cable in them. So when you see tablets, before you throw them out, pull the ribbon cable out because you are going to end up having some gold in that. Don't just throw that out, okay? So one of the things I'm going over is this little slip of ribbon cable here. We do have a bit of metal in here right now, which is why it's a bit thick. It's possibly just aluminum, but you can actually slightly make that out right there. This would have to go right into nitric acid. Another part of this here is this piece, and it's got this long 150 number. I'm not sure if you can kind of make it out right there. 150150633, which is pretty good. And this actually is a different type of ribbon cable, which would actually connect the motherboard and it would connect the screen itself. It's very nice, by the way. The good part is this is something I would actually throw possibly directly into the crucible. It's going to make a lot of smoke itself, yes, I know. But the good part about that is if it does, which is okay, it's going to have the gold left behind right now, and then a lot of slag, which is fine. Okay, so that's one of the pieces there right now. Now, another piece we're going to go through in here is these pieces here. Now, people do throw these out. However, this here is 100% probably some of the best gold scrap you have. Why is that? Because of how light it is and the fact that you still have this gold coating on the end of it. This is gold, by the way. Okay, this is gold. Whenever you see these, if I find these right here by the pound, I'll probably give you $50 a pound for them. But I know it's going to be a bastard to melt because it's plastic. And plastic, when it melts, burns and makes a lot of smoke. And then that's when people start throwing up issues, and they start making those calls. You don't want that. So if you can get a special burner, not necessarily a Bunsen burner, but electric burner, and then take the smoke through maybe a metal container into water, it'll work. But then you still have to look at the dangers of it at that point. You're going to have to dilute it a lot. And I mean a lot. Like 10-minute smoke through a gallon of water, who knows? But yeah, this stuff here is the best. I do like this, by the way. I definitely do. So this is the third piece of type of gold scrap you'll actually have here. This is very nice. It's the thinnest. It's the lightest. I like it. I'll probably pay $50 a pound for that, which is pretty good. What do we have here? We have a nice little gold finger, which is pretty good. And this is double-sided. Now, these are the thick ones that would come off of RAM. Now, you didn't have to cut it. You could have left it on. But, again, you would have to cut this with something, maybe shears, But yeah, don't dull the blade on that sucker. That PCB is definitely thick when it comes to RAM right now. That's more than at least 2 or 3 millimeters there. But it is a finger and it is double-sided, which is very nice. I wonder what happened to the MLCCs on that. Okay, let's go over the fifth piece here. Now, what we actually have is we have a wireless PC adapter. Very nice. This is a bit old school there. I have gold fingers here. If I could take this off, I'll probably have some MLCCs, capacitors in here, which are definitely pretty good. We do have an antenna part. I could take that off. This is something I would actually end up using maybe on a hacking module right now with that antenna part. I do like that. Let's go over another piece. Now we got a nice chip here, which is very good, and we have the gold tips. Anytime you see boards like these would have 3 different types of the gold with them. Sometimes the gold will be in this part here, which is the top chip. The gold tips here, you have to peel this part off and get the wires on the inside. If you can clearly look at it, you have a lot of that flake coming out. Those be the wires there, and then the bottom part of it, you'll actually have the gold pins here, these MLCCs you may have to move with these mini chips, and then the gold under that. So this definitely has to get thrown right into the fire. You could put it in nitric acid, but I'd be careful. Okay, now 4, we got some scrap RAM here, which is pretty good. Now the reason why I call this scrap RAM is that even though this is desktop RAM, it's 256 megabytes. You want something that's at least 4 megabyte, 8 megabyte, 16 megabyte, sorry, 16 gigabyte, or 32. Megabytes are old. You want 4 gig, 8 gig, 16 gig, and 32 gig. The higher the gig, the better. And these have MLCCs on them and chips, and they're usually double-sided. Very, very nice right now. These can go for about $10 a pound. And if somebody says, hey, I'll pay you $10 a pound for it, 400 pounds, make sure, hey, do the deal right now. I want to see the cash. It's real simple. So we can go ahead and definitely end up getting that done right now, which will work out. So we got a lot of little chips in here with the gold tips on them. Very, very good right now. Very good gold scrap here. Let's look at another piece here. Gold finger part. This has to get reverse electroplated out of that. Very nice. I'm going to have to get pliers to hit this piece off. We have an antenna in. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Did you plug in for this? Let's see if this antenna actually worked. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. This antenna actually directly worked. So this would work for you right now. We could put this onto a hacking module to get some stuff out. This is very, very nice, by the way. I do like this. This is pretty good. All right, now let's go over. What else do we have in here? This is the inside part of an iPhone that was broken up, which is pretty good. All right, that's MLCCs. Ooh, we got a chip here. Ooh, wait a minute, hold on. Could this still be salvageable? Always look on the back. If you have some MLCCs that have moved, nope, they're still intact. So I'm going to have to put this in sponge right now. See if we can clear this up. We have an IMC11 Intel Core. What do we have? .54570T. All right, so this is very, very nice here. If you can kind of see that. Let me see if I can get the angle. The light's trying to play tricks on it right now. You can kind of see that there. All right, now let's see what we actually have. This is where you got to watch out for the light and the glare. This is why it's always good to sometimes look at the camera to see what the person watching the video sees. But yeah, this is an i11 Intel Core .5 right now. It's an okay chip. Somebody might just give you $5 for it or so, depending on what that is. That's it. Got some other pieces here. Very good. Definitely very good pieces here. You could peel that out. You might have some gold in that. Let's look at this. Chips, MLC. Look at that. Very nice. Then, you know what? One of these ribbon cables may have actually ended up going into this part here right now. Very good gold finger. And last but not least, one of the pieces I did find. Ta-da! We have a VIA processor. This is a C3 VIA 800 MHZ. Heatsink fan required. Now these bad boys do heat up. However, the fact that we have one of the, and to be honest, I actually just bought this. online inside of this little scrap pile, and I'm like, the hell is that? And I'm like, this is very nice. I will add this to the collection, by the way. I might have to clean it up. What you can do is you can get an old toothbrush with some rubbing alcohol sometimes and brush that off, and then wipe it with some toilet paper so it doesn't seep in too much right now. But you do want to clean it up if you put these on display. These are very, very nice, by the way. Very, very nice. I do like these. I will keep this right now. It appears that they got rid of it because you got one part there that's busted. So I guess that definitely had an issue there. But yeah, this is what we have for the zero.8 pounds there. This is bag one. I have another bag that I got. So I'm going to put this all back and then we'll set that up. All right, Pro Dumpster Diver out.